The free agent market has dwindled greatly for the Washington Wizards in the last 2 days. With not that many great options left on the open market, the best option might be to trade for some help in the front court.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
This is AJ Dybantsa, and you're listening to the Locked On Wizards podcast.
You are locked on to the Washington Wizards. My name is Ben Schrober, and covering the Washington Wizards alongside me, as always, that is Abdullah Ayubi. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here. Let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started right now. AB, speaking of the World Cup, the U.S. is on to the round of 16 after winning over Bosnia 2-0 yesterday. You think they got a shot against Belgium?
I'll tell you one thing. We're going to show those Belgian people that waffles are really made in Waffle House. We're not worried about the Belgian waffles. But in all seriousness, I'm proud of this USA team. First time they advanced this far since, I think, 2002, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully they keep going. We'll see, Ben. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yesterday was out and about watching the game and seeing everybody trying to rally behind the team. It's been a cool sight. We got to get into the Washington Wizards, though, here on this episode on today's show. In the final segment, I want to touch on the Eastern Conference, how it just keeps on getting better. The Jaylen Brown trade that went down yesterday.
Real quick, Ben, real quick. I don't want to make this Locked On Celtics, but what the hell is Boston doing? You trade away arguably your best player on your team to an organization that you just blew a 3-1 lead to for Paul George and the great 2026. I'm sorry, the compensation maybe look good from years from now, but Jaylen Brown going for that, Ben? Are you serious? That's the best offer you could have gotten?
I have a lot of thoughts on the trade and Jaylen Brown and everything that went down with it, but my tease is that Paul George might be the most valuable player in NBA history, according to what we've seen.
Oh.
Let's get into this front court stuff to start everything off here, AB, because Marvin Bagley signed with the Denver Nuggets last night. I think I was pretty surprised about that. I saw your tweet. You said you fell to your knees in sheets. So that's another backup big option that is off the board for the Washington Wizards right here. The Wizards have a little bit of time. They still have some spending power, but the free agent big man market has dwindled quite a bit over the last couple of days. Some of the best remaining options that we see available here for the Wizards potentially go after Andre Drummond, who played with Philadelphia last year, could provide you some defense and rebounding. Nick Richards. Kevon Looney's technically available, but seeing some reporting that he may sign with the Knicks. Dwight Powell, Drew Eubanks, and the list goes on for a couple of others. The best option might actually be to trade with this $13.4 million trade exception. We saw Josh Robbins yesterday say that could be the avenue that the Wizards take instead of going through free agency here.
Yeah, I was kind of hurt a little bit when I saw that late night tweet from Shams that Marvin Bagley will be going to the Denver Nuggets on a 1-year deal. I just, for some reason, thought that this was destiny. The third time around that you were going to bring him in, and hopefully in a competitive basketball team, he'll have a good role off the bench. But it's not the end of the world. I just wonder, Ben, they haven't really made any moves outside of bringing back Jameer Watkins, which is awesome. We love to see that. Free agents are coming off the board. And when it comes to big man, I mean, Walker Kessler got paid, got traded to the Lakers. Mitchell Robinson, your boy, went to the Celtics. It's like day by day the market is dwindling, and I just wonder if the move is trading for someone, and if it is, who is that player?
I think it's possible because we have to remember at the end of the day that Michael Winger foretold that something like this could happen, that they felt like the free agent market might be limited, and that's why they did their pre-agency shopping at the trade deadline. And I know everyone says that free agency is dead, and effectively it is, but the only team apparently that actually uses free agency the way it was intended to be this entire time was the Lakers, because they signed 6 players in like 10 minutes yesterday. I just kept on getting new notifications. Lakers signed this guy, Lakers signed that guy. And then that caused some drama because Anthony Davis replied to someone's tweet saying, damn, now our GM wants to like sign competent people in the front court. When we had AD and LeBron here, they weren't able to do that. This doesn't make any sense. And AD put like a bunch of laughing emojis below it. So stirred the pot a little bit. But with this trade exception that Washington has, I think it makes a lot of sense that we do see the Wizards potentially using that to acquire somebody in the front court, because the only kind of linkage we have seen from any type of reporting, and I know Washington's front office doesn't leak much, is that there's been some interest in adding a veteran backup point guard to the team. We saw the links to Russell Westbrook. Then yesterday we randomly saw Gabe Vincent's name come up, and I was kind of like, I don't know how, I don't know
How to react to that.
I don't know how to feel about that.
He was a key piece, I think, in the Miami Heat 2023 run.
Yeah, but I
That was a while ago.
don't really know if he provides much for you right now. Maybe he could play a little bit of defense off the bench as like a third string option. I think I'd rather just have Bub play than Gabe Vincent at this point. I'd be much more interested in bringing in Russell Westbrook for that mentorship type of role. But we haven't seen any type of links to them being after anybody in free agency on the big man market. So that maybe tells me that they have something up their sleeve to get a backup big via trade, because we know that they need one. I know we've seen some of the comments saying, what do you mean? They just traded for the 46 overall pick, Felix Okpara. They've already told us that Okpara is a developmental project piece. He's going to play a lot with the Go-Go next year. He's going to be on a two-way contract, so do not get your hopes up on him being an everyday first off the bench big. That's not what his role is going to be in his rookie season. If it somehow happened that way, that would be pretty incredible, but I think he's got a lot of rawness to his game, especially offensively. He's going to need some time before he becomes the valuable piece they want. But that's what they like with second-round picks, are guys that typically are these project type of players. I maybe was a little bit hoping at the time that they would get somebody that would pretty instantly plug and play, but if they do use this trade exception, which they got, believe it or not, in the Kelly Olynyk trade last summer, $13.4 million exception, I think you could potentially go after a couple of different names. So I was looking on Spot Rack for some of the free agent power forward / centers for next season. So I'm looking at somebody that is going to be a free agent next year if you're looking to trade somebody, so you get like an expiring deal back. And some of the options that I was seeing here that would be unrestricted free agents next year, a lot of them are older at this point, including Harrison Barnes. I'm looking maybe Grant Williams. He's making $13.3 million, so that's pretty much exactly what the trade exception is right now for the Wizards at 28.6 years old. He's been in the league 7 years. With Charlotte, I'm not sure if they'd be willing to part with him, but the Wizards also have a couple of players and salaries that they're probably willing to offload at this point in D'Angelo Russell, Jaden Hardy, and those are the two that first come to mind. But if they're going to clear some space and sign somebody with this mid-level exception or with the trade exception, then you could see some of those names being moved.
Do you expect them being moved before they make their first official move of the offseason, or somewhat big move, Ben?
Like the trade?
Yeah.
So the trade has to happen in the next week. I believe the trade exception expires on July 9th.
Okay. All right, so, basically a week.
Right.
Damn. Yeah, at the end of the day, I know that there is a plan out there, because you just don't go out there running Vucevic, Reese, and Okpara off your bench as big man depth. You are really thin at the front court. And I just wonder, Grant Williams, whoever it is, a veteran presence, definitely needed. I saw some Wizards fans, and I probably am part of this crowd, saying that they're making room for LeBron James, but that's not happening. I want to know just whoever we get, what do you have to the salary cap and everything, with all that, when you factor all that together, you expect a good or decent player for depth. But I just don't know. Grant Williams, whoever. I saw someone say Daniel Gafford a free agent.
So I think he has 1 year left on his deal.
Okay.
I'd have to double check on that, but I'd potentially be interested in bringing Daniel Gafford back.
That would be cool.
I know a lot of people have reservations with bringing back somebody that was here before, but Gafford could definitely be a very productive bench big for this team. Really good rim protector, could help out defensively, crash on the boards as well. If you're looking for somebody that could at least help rebound, I would potentially be interested in bringing Andre Drummond, even though he's been in the league for 19 seasons now.
Wow.
Or something. No, I don't think it's. Is it 19 seasons?
Has it been that long? I don't think so.
How long has Andre Drummond been in the league? It's been a really long time.
He's definitely above 35 or 36, right?
Oh, actually, no. I was confusing him with somebody else. Andre Drummond is 32 years old.
Wow.
Who was the dude?
He was older.
Who was the guy that went back to New Orleans the other day? That's like in his 19th year.
DeAndre Jordan? No.
Yes, that's.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Did you see Derek Queen's story?
I know he trolls DeAndre Jordan about his age because he's so much younger than him.
So, yeah, DeAndre Jordan is 37 right now, and they posted the graphic of him re-signing in New Orleans, and Derek Queen put on his story and said, there was nowhere else for you to go, bro. You had to come back.
That's funny.
So he was trolling him. But Andre Drummond, so yeah, he's definitely on the older side, but I think he still is productive as a rebounder, as a defender at this point. Somehow he kind of developed a three-point shot last year, which was very unexpected, and he actually utilized that a little bit in the last 2 seasons with the Philadelphia 76ers, but he'd be pretty low cost, I would say. He shot 35% from 3 last season, which was really interesting. That was like just never part of his game whatsoever, and he suddenly kind of developed that shot to be part of it. Would you be interested in him?
Yeah, again, prime Andre Drummond would have been amazing 7-8 years ago signing him, but he is that veteran, and you need depth. Beggars can't be choosers, especially if the market keeps getting thin when it comes to the big man options.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the Wizards did bring back Jameer Watkins on a 2-way contract. I really enjoy this move. I think I have an idea of what will happen in the future with Watkins as well, so I want to detail that next when we come back here on Locked On Wizards. The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of a game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant. That's what makes tournament soccer so exciting, from the opening whistle to the final kick. Now, FanDuel is giving fans another reason to stay locked into every match with every goal pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets. All you have to do is turn on your token. That's what I love about these tournaments. You can turn on a match between 2 teams you don't normally follow, and suddenly one goal changes everything. The tension builds so quickly that you're invested before you even realize it. You have USA playing Belgium this upcoming Monday, and that's in the round of 16, a place where the U.S. has not been past, I think, ever. I'd have to double check when. I don't think they've ever been that far. So it's going to be an incredible buzz. If you want to bet on that game, you can get some bonus bets for every single goal that is scored in this game. I guess they're going to be without Flo Balogun after the red card last night, so that's very unfortunate news for the United States. But FanDuel is the best way for you to get benefited from each goal that is scored. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started right now. Jameer Watkins is back for the Washington Wizards on a 2-way contract, former 43 overall pick back in 2025. I thought he had a really productive rookie season playing on a 2-way, eventually got a new contract, and now he is back on a 2-way after the team declined his option for $2.1 million. I think there is a plan in here. They're following the same thing that they did with Tristan Vucevic a while back, where they initially declined his team option, then they brought him back on a 2-way deal, then last year they gave him the 3-year, $9 million contract extension. I think we're going to see something similar, because if you have Jameer Watkins on a 2-way deal to start the season, you can have him on the NBA roster. That caps out at about 50 games is the maximum that you can play on a 2-way deal. But we know roster spots are at a premium right now for the Wizards. So if you want to have him available, and then eventually after the trade deadline, if there's some things that shift around, you move on from some guys and a roster spot opens up, that is where you take the opportunity to sign Jameer Watkins to that lucrative deal, kind of the same way we did with Justin Champagnie a couple years back, same way we did it with Tristan Vucevic. I think this is the play with Jameer Watkins, because he is simply too good to not be part of this team's future. What he brings for you defensively, athleticism-wise, as a finisher at the rim as well, this dude is a really, really productive player, and I think he's a gem out of the second round that's going to stick around here for a long time.
Yeah, I really wasn't worried when Washington declined his player option. I figured that he would come back on a team-friendly deal. What do you expect his role to be this upcoming year, Ben, since this team wants to be competitive?
I think he's going to see minutes off the bench as a guy that comes in and is a defensive stopper. There's a reason he was a 96 percentile stop percentage player. So the team was generating blocks, defensive rebounds, and just stops overall when he was on the floor at a super, super high rate. And if you look at everything advanced analytically with him, he was really one of the best defenders on the perimeter on this team. And I know we give a lot of flowers to Bilal Coulibaly, what he is defensively. But even in Watkins' limited time, he was one of the best defenders on this team overall. And I think it's just because he simply understands what IQ-wise is needed. Like, he has a high enough basketball acumen to understand where he needs to be at all times. I think he does a really good job of actually positioning himself. The number one thing I noticed from him is when he is off the ball, he always finds himself in the right place. He's very good in anticipation, knowing where the next pass will be, how to rotate over, get his hand in passing lanes. He does all of that stuff at a super high level, which you don't get a lot of at the NBA level at all times. When you have a player that can do what he does for you defensively night in, night out, he's extremely valuable for your team. And we keep on talking about this. If the Wizards want to be a playoff team next year, which we believe should be their goal should be to at least make the play-in tournament next year based on the talent they have on hand, you're going to need this type of player on the team that provides you this type of value defensively. He's going to play significant minutes, and I think he's going to be really impactful for him.
Do you expect him to play a lot in the Summer League, which is in less than a week?
Yeah, he's going to get some time in the Summer League for sure. Got to develop his three-point shot because I think he was around 25% last season.
Yeah.
He had a couple of moments and a couple of nights where he got hot from the outside and had some pretty big scoring outputs, which was great to see. But I honestly wasn't even worried about his offensive game a whole lot last season because of what he is defensively. I think because he can hang his hat on that in a limited role off the bench, it just makes so much sense for what the Wizards are trying to do. The first Summer League game I saw this dude play, and I watched him just get an on-ball rep defensively. I was like, he belongs. This guy is going to play in the NBA for plenty of years. And I think that intuition that I had was exactly right with Watkins because he proved that even at the NBA level, he can be a very positive defender.
I'm hoping him playing alongside Trae Young will open up his game as an NBA player on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, no questions whatsoever. He's only going to get better. The athleticism is amazing at 6'5" with almost a 7-foot wingspan. The three-point shot, like you said, needs to be better than 25%. I just want to see his role expand. And it's going to be tough because you have AJ Dybantsa. This is already a deep wing group. Justin Champagnie is still here. We'll have to see what happens with Ken Whitmore. Keyshawn's a dog. He definitely has to start. And Bilal, we expect him to have an offensive jump in year 4. How does Jameer Watkins make his mark in year 2? It's going to be exciting.
I think if you find a role for him offensively that involves him just playing pretty primarily off the ball, but you get him opportunities where he can finish at the rim, and that's something that Trae Young does really well. And I know that Watkins would probably be playing in a bench unit type of role. But think about it this way. There are going to be situations maybe at the end of games where they need a stop desperately, and you put Watkins on the floor. We actually saw that on a couple of occasions last year in some of the games where the Wizards were actually trying to win, where Watkins would be out there for a crucial late defensive possession. Because you say, dude, we need to get one stop. You go out there and do it. There's a reason why they see value in this guy going forward. So I think we're on the same track as Tristan Vucevic, as Justin Champagnie, where you have him on the two-way contract, but he's going to get that payday that he deserves at some point.
Yeah, I'm excited for Jameer. I just wonder the playing time and the distribution of minutes, because this year you're going to be competitive. There's going to be guys, Ben, they're going to get DMPs early on in the season, no?
I mean, I think so. It's going to be a hard rotation to make. You're adding 2 all-star caliber players in Trae Young and Anthony Davis to this team. You're adding AJ Dybantsa, who you presume would be obviously in the starting lineup as the number 1 overall pick should be. It's not going to be an easy rotation. Let's say you're going 9 or 10 deep, maybe even go 11 deep if you're being generous. I mean, what does that mean for guys like Jaden Hardy, who I actually thought had a pretty good final quarter of the season since he got traded here, did a good job scoring the basketball. But is there a role for him to play in for this team as a 2 guard? Trey Johnson, is he going to start at the 2? Is he going to be the spark plug off the bench? Where does Bob Carrington fit in? Is he going to play as a backup 1? Is he going to play as a backup 2 guard combo off the bench that can shoot the ball? I mean, what does it mean for a guy like Jaden Hardy? That's just why I feel like he is the most likely to be moved in this trade exception, because I do think he has some value for a guy that can shoot from the outside the way he does.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Hopefully sometime soon this team makes a move so we can make a video about it. But I want to go real quick back to like the lack of movement so far in free agency. Are you shocked, Ben? Like, did you think the Wizards were going to make a move at least in day 1?
I think I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't pick up anybody yet. But given what we know about Washington's front office and how they viewed free agency, maybe they always viewed this as a very limited class, and they were willing to be a little bit more patient and to see where the market goes. Because I think there are a lot of teams that had money to spend or teams that had little space, and they went out very quickly and spent pretty much all the money they had in free agency right away. So maybe the Wizards' plan was to kind of feel the market out, wait a little bit, and see what becomes available later and what the price will be. on some of these guys. I'm just honestly surprised that they didn't bring back Bagley. I think that was my number one shock of everything. I was.
Can we trade for him by any chance?
I mean, maybe. Maybe that happens at some point.
That'd be hilarious.
Can you imagine if they just traded for him? I mean, that didn't even make any sense. But what I wonder about Bagley, what if he didn't want to come back? I know he liked his time here, but they did trade him twice.
Yeah.
What if he's like, dude, I can't move again.
I can't buy another condo or apartment and just tell my real estate agent you'll sell this again.
Right. Like I feel like that could be one of the factors here. Is he was like, I liked it here, I like what you guys are doing, but you didn't trade me twice in back-to-back seasons. That was a little bit annoying. So I don't know. I doubt it's like any ill will or anything like that. I don't know the details of the contract. We haven't seen it yet for what he got paid in Denver, but I hope he got a nice payday. I like Marvin Bagley. Good dude.
Bags will always have a special place in my heart. Real quick before we go to break, do you think, I know people hate me bringing him up, but do you think LeBron knows where he's going right now, Ben?
No, but I think we're going to find out next week.
So before Summer League starts?
I think so. I think next week.
You think it's Golden State?
I think it's Cleveland. He's in Cleveland right now. You know that?
I saw that he was working out with a trainer, and
he's playing golf this week.
Oh,
but from what I've heard, that he was meeting with Cleveland's ownership. I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not, but that is a rumor that I have heard about LeBron James.
But him going to Cleveland, does that make with the squad they have contenders or favorites at the East?
Favorites? I don't know about favorites, but they were a top 4 team last year, or top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. Where did they finish in the conference? They were good. They obviously got to the conference finals, and they're bringing back James Harden, I think, on a new deal, which I don't like. I don't think you can win with Harden, but Donovan Mitchell, he was still there, and then if you add LeBron to that,
I just feel like he did what he did in 2016. There's no point of going back a second time, but it's LeBron James. He can do what he wants.
Who knows? Apparently golf is a big factor. That's why I threw out my recruiting pitch where I said, hey, man, 5-iron golf right next to Capital One Arena, indoor facility. East Potomac is about to get renovated, that golf course, so it's going to become like a
Top
luxury.
Golf in Ashburn. I've been there. Come on now.
Yeah, and he got Top Golf in Germantown, where I used to be at. That's funny. No, I think he goes back to Cleveland, though. We'll have to see. I want to talk about Jaylen Brown and the trade that went down yesterday, because what in the world is happening? Are the Celtics actually cratering right now? I'll talk about that next here in Locked On Wizards. Talk about this blockbuster Jaylen Brown deal yesterday, and the trade. Remember all the reports saying that it was expected that the value was not that high for Jaylen Brown, and the asking price really could not be that much based on what people were willing to give. Here's the details of the deal. Jaylen Brown heads to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George. Paul George in 2026. 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. That was it for a guy that was the Finals MVP 2 seasons ago. Were you shocked?
Wasn't he just? Oh no, Ben. I was through the roof. I mean, the Sixers, and again, Ben, he just was second team All NBA, and according to Shams, the original asking price was 4 first-round picks. You're telling me that was the best offer you could have gotten? I think they really think those first-round picks in 4 to 5 years from now are going to be valuable. But come on, bro. For Jaylen Brown, who, in my opinion, is probably the best player on that Celtics team, was the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference this past year when Jason Tatum was essentially out for the whole year. I just wonder what maybe they have so much confidence in Payton Pritchard making a jump. I just don't get it.
I think Brad Stevens missed the mark on all of this. Mm-hmm. And once they attached Brown's name to trade conversations for Giannis, I think that ruined all momentum they had, and that pretty much ended the relationship, because it seemed like Brown felt some type of way about having his name attached to the trade rumors for Giannis, because he truly believes that he is the best player on that Celtics team, or, past tense now, was the best player on that Celtics team. And then it got to a point where the relationship was so fractured that he was on social media posting, arguing with people about how good he really is and how AI analytics is ruining the sport, and that everyone needs to relax about him because he's one of the best players in the league and he's won more than anybody in the last 10 years in the league. And now it got to a point where everybody in the league was saying this dude's value is not even that high. And Philadelphia trades not that much to get him. Now Paul George has been traded for like 8 first-round picks in his career. Can you believe that?
I mean, again, I just don't get it. And it's funny because during the playoff series, Ben, when Jaylen Brown was streaming, he called Joel Embiid a huge flopper, and now they're teammates. Talk about full circle moment.
Here's what PG has been traded for in his career: SGA, Jaylen Brown, Domantas Sabonis, Victor Oladipo, Gallinari, and
That's a
7
starting
first-round
five
picks,
right there.
7 first-round picks and 4 pick swaps.
That's impressive. That is actually insane.
Because the Paul George trade was a massive deal 8 years ago. 8 years ago, PG being traded from the Thunder to the Clippers was the biggest news of the entire offseason. Now his name is actually a headliner in another massive trade in 2026. That's unreal.
Yeah, I don't understand it, Ben. I think they could have got a better offer, but I think as time went on, like you said, they attached the name to Giannis, and then everything with the reports coming out that he wasn't liked in Boston, and just day by day, the relationship was getting worse. I remember during our live show, we talked about how an executive said that he's the 7th best player on his team. Are you so insane. Seventh? One? You're telling me 6 players are better than Jaylen Brown on an NBA team if he was on that team? That is insane. I can't wait for him to have a big year this year, Ben.
I'm mad that he stayed in the East, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can blame Brad Stevens for that one. I just don't get it for a guy, Brad Stevens, who's a genius, man. This is a Celtics organization that is known to make amazing moves. You do this? I'm shocked.
They're going to overachieve anyway, is what I think. Even though they got worse on paper, I feel like everybody in the Eastern Conference but the Celtics, maybe the Pistons, have gotten better this offseason, which is definitely unfortunate timing for the Wizards. We could probably do a whole video about this, about once the Wizards are starting to compete again, everybody's getting better. The East is going to be really competitive next year. I can't name a ton of teams that I see the Wizards jumping next year unless you're getting full health from everybody all season, but that could be wishful thinking. So we'll have to do a video kind of dissecting every team in the Eastern Conference. I feel like every team has somehow gotten better but the Celtics, yet they're still going to overachieve because Joe Mazzulla did exactly that last year with Jaylen Brown. So that's the argument there about his value. Look, that guy made that team the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference last season, despite Tatum being out the whole year. And the Tatum injury, when he came back in the postseason, he was never right. I feel like they rushed him back. What if Tatum's not the same player?
Yeah, that's a good point. It was torn Achilles, right?
Yeah, I mean, just what if he doesn't have the same burst and athleticism?
It's possible.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities that Jason Tatum wouldn't be the same player.
But knowing, Ben, what Philadelphia had to give up for Brown, do you wish that Washington made an offer?
No, not necessarily.
Just because the money?
Yeah, the money tied to it, I think, is a big thing going forward. And the Wizards just aren't ready for that type of piece at this point in time. I think that's the bottom line with everything. If you're adding this type of player, you're doing it because of your championship aspirations, and the Wizards just clearly, I don't think, have that at this point in time. Maybe a year from now, they'll be making some form of move to get somebody that's their win-now piece, but they're not ready for that type of thing. And I think considering that you just drafted A.J. Dybantsa, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to bring this guy in who's on a long-term deal right now.
Next year, Boston versus Philly, Tatum versus Brown. That's going to be a fun matchup. But for the Wizards, I hope something happens in the next 24 hours, Ben, so we have something to talk about.
We'll see. I mean, there's going to be a trade. I feel like there's going to be a trade in the next week. That's when they have the deadline to use this trade exception. So I would expect something to happen in the next week or so.
Mm-hmm. And if you just don't use it, then it's gone, right?
I think it expires. So
you're right. Something has to be done. Also in a week, Darren Pearson versus AJ, baby. All eyes on that.
On July 9th could be a very, very busy day. But there's no way they do nothing. They have to have a plan of something that they're going to do because they have a full mid-level exception and a trade exception, and they're $13 million under the cap or something like that. So they're going to spend some money. They're going to do something. Why would they do absolutely nothing? That's what everyone is freaking out about. But I'd say relax for now. They'll do something eventually.
Did you like the trade that Dallas did with Memphis to trade for Santi?
Yeah, man. When I was looking through some of the options on Spot Rack, they still list him here even though he just got traded. I'm like, damn.
Would have been nice.
Yeah, that's a good move.
I remember when Washington played Memphis, he had a really good game.
Yeah, he's really good, dude. He is really, really good. Oh, man. It's been a crazy last couple days of the NBA offseason. It just feels like everybody is getting better right now, and this league is at an all-time high in terms of competitiveness because of all the parity, and everybody is elevating their roster right now because of the new lottery reforms. I didn't expect these new lottery reforms to change so much, but it appears they have.
Yeah, it's made an impact on the league. Did you see what the Lakers did before LeBron left? They guaranteed Bronny's contract.
Yeah, one last promise for LeBron.
What do you think? So if LeBron leaves, do you think Bronny's like what's the word with him?
I don't know. I do you really think like did the Thanasis go to did they go to Miami? Is that happening?
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but that's probably the
like,
move though.
The Bucks have just been keeping his brothers around for a forever.
I mean, it's a W move. It's hilarious.
I know. I guess you gotta do it to make these stars happy, but it's interesting. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Locked On Wizards. Hopefully we see the Wizards do something. I think something will happen soon, whether or not they are trading for big or they go out in free agency and sign somebody like Andre Drummond. That remains to be seen. For now, that's Abdul Ayyubi. I'm Ben Strober. Thanks for watching Locked On Wizards.